Greetings class, Dr. Ramos here again. Kin 303 week 6 now. We're almost towards the end of the class here, and this week there's not too much to do, so again it's a good week to really get going on your critical assignment. So let's get into what we got to do this week. This week we have chapters 13 and 14, careers in health and fitness, and also careers in therapeutic exercise. And you'll have the lectures, you'll have my lecture on here. You have quiz 6, which is going to be the same as the other quizzes. And finally, you have your workout plan. So there is a Excel spreadsheet here attached to this assignment, which gives you an example of what I'm expecting from you. And so I'm going to cover this a little bit more in depth right now, but just to give you the general outline, you're going to have to look up the FIT principle by the ACSM, which is frequency, intensity, time, and type, and just understand what each component means and what an example of that looks like. And once you have an understanding of that, you're going to create a workout plan for these two different scenarios that are listed here. The first scenario is a 27-year-old female that's an avid runner, and she needs to start incorporating strength training into her training. So you're going to help that athlete or that, weekend warrior build up their strength to eventually help their running. In the second scenario, you're going to have a sedentary male who is going to get into, some form of exercise. So like it says right there, keep in mind that it should be realistic because this would be an untrained client, and, all of you are going to have different levels of experience in helping people become physically active. But I will tell you this, anyone that has not been physically active for a long period of time or has maybe never really done that, you'd be surprised at, the very basic type of exercises that you have to do to actually challenge them physically. Just doing step ups, going up and down stairs. Obviously, this is a 33-year-old male, but still you have to consider that their job requires them to sit all day, so they're going to have some maybe functional inefficiencies that you're going to have to address. So it says the program should include 2 weeks of training. So, if you go by the rules of strength and conditioning, the first 4 to 6 weeks, they're not going to see very much physical change. A lot of it is going to be physiological. And in the first 2 weeks, they're going to feel a lot more discomfort than at any other point during the training. And you have to kind of take that into account. So the first and second weeks, there should be some differences in the type of exercises that you include. Because you don't want it to look exactly the same, but it's not going to be like you're going to take someone from doing lunges and then all of a sudden start doing, box jumps or cleans and Olympic lifts in the second week. That would be way too much of a chasm in the steps that you're taking. So just take that into consideration. So let me pull up the spreadsheet. So here's a spreadsheet that's attached. It's an example of what you can create, and take into account that this is 1 week. This is 1 week of exercises. The assignment requires 2 weeks. So you should have 2 of these spreadsheets, and you can easily, let me see if I can pull this up. Yeah. So if you look down here, the Excel spreadsheets always have these tabs. So you can put the first week on one tab and then add the second week on the second tab, so that you don't have to create 2 different Excel files. But you see here the different parts of the training program: the aerobic, then you have strength and endurance, and then flexibility, and then you have what the person is doing each day. In this example, we have rest days every other day, so make sure that you incorporate that as well. And you're talking about, if it's aerobic, then you're usually describing the length of time that they're doing something. And when it comes to lifting weights, then you're describing it in sets and reps. And then flexibility, you also describe it in time. And one of the things that's really not noted on here, which should have been, is the intensity, because the fit rule is frequency, intensity, time, and type. So let me show you the ACSM document that will explain this a little bit better. All right, so this is the ACSM's fit recommendations for hypertension. So this is an example of what a workout plan should look like for someone who is trying to control high blood pressure. And obviously the two examples that you're going to be responsible for, it doesn't mention that, so you don't have to follow these guidelines. This is just an example. But frequency, how many times per week. Intensity, it's going to vary by the type of exercise you're doing. So if you're doing aerobic, you are going to go by VO2R, HRR, or RPE. And down here it tells you what those mean. So oxygen uptake reserve, HRR is heart rate reserve, and then RPE is rating of perceived exertion. So if you don't know exactly what those mean, you can look those up on the ACSM website. But essentially they're a measure of how intense the workout is going to be. For weightlifting, you go by percentage of 1 RM, 1 repetition maximums. So let's say you're in these scenarios that we're giving you, you can kind of say that you've tested your clients for a 1 RM in, let's say, squats. Let's say your runner's 1 RM for a squat is 180 pounds. So based on that, you're going to give a percentage of the intensity you want them working out. So in this case, 60 to 7% of their 1 RM. So you take a percentage of that 180 pounds, and then you would describe that, but still give the percentage. I like when it's described by percentage of 1 RM. And then time, how long they're doing the workouts for. In the weightlifting section, you're still giving the sets, reps, but you can also kind of describe it in how long each session should take. And then the type is what type of equipment or environment they're going to be doing this training. So for this running example, prolonged rhythmic activity using large muscle groups like walking, cycling. For the resistance portion, you can say that they're going to start off with just resistance machines, no free weights, or if you feel like they can do more, then you can say free weights or exercise bands, whatever that is. And the same goes for the other examples here, flexibility. So yeah, this is a good little example of what you should be doing. All right, so that's all I have for you this week. If you have any questions, please reach out to me and I can further elaborate on any of this stuff. Or if you have questions about your critical assignment, please do that as soon as possible. All right, you guys have a great week, and I will talk to you soon.